A Chesterfield family has a huge bat problem, and tonight they're turning to 12 on Your Side for help. This video shows what a mother and her two children are dealing with. She says her landlord's solution to getting rid of the bats ended up killing them and leaving dead bats and a horrible stench all over the house. On Your Side, investigator Franklin White here with this incredible story. Franklin.
Well, Kurt, I can admit that stench was unbearable. Letitia Smith says it's been a nightmare, so much so her children are terrified to just walk in the house.
It's like a new start for me and my girls, and it's the fact that it's just hindering me from like having to spend more money to do it all over again.
Letitia Smith wanted her new Chesterfield home to be filled with love and new memories, but instead
I'm packing all my stuff.
It's been the source of an emotional roller coaster.
It smells horrible. It smells like real strong, I said pneumonia smell. It's horrible, and now it has dead bats, and that smells even worse.
She's been here since February and has spent weeks living in fear in a home that was supposed to be a place of peace after her son Jeffrey was shot in 2021.
He was murdered. He was killed protecting one of his friends. He got shot in the back 5 times. He had just graduated from high school, B. Davis. And so them years has been really, really sad. We have, as you see, there's like pictures of him everywhere. I haven't even put them up. I have pictures of him everywhere because I refuse to put up anything in his home because this feels like a home to me.
She says every night when she and her daughters come home, they're forced to duck and dodge swarms of bats circling from above. She says they eventually squeeze into an opening in the roof of her laundry room right next to her kitchen.
It's like a horror movie. If you was to come home from picking your daughter up and come back, you look like you're in a horror movie because they're flying around the car and they're flying around. It's like it's terrifying.
She doesn't know why the bats are infesting her home, but when she told her landlord about the issue, his solution was to close the opening.
When he sealed it, they went crazy. It's like, I guess they was trying to get back into there, and since he sealed it, it was kind of hard for the bats to go back in there. So it's like they was going crazy, and we had to deal with that for almost a week now. When he did it on the 19th, every night, it was like, that's how it was.
Sealing the entrance also caused the bats left inside to die. The landlord told her he didn't remove the bats that were inside first because he said it's illegal to move them during mating season. When I asked the Virginia Department of Wildlife Resources about that, they told me it's best to leave bats undisturbed, especially during the time of year when they have pups. However, if the bats are creating a human health safety hazard, they can be removed legally by a wildlife removal company at any time. Letitia wishes her landlord would have taken that route, but now she fears the smell, along with the bat bodies and maggots, could affect her and her children's health.
And I wanted to be let out of my lease without any penalties because the way he's going, I don't think he's going to do that.
And when her landlord refused, she called the 12 on Your Side investigators. When I emailed her landlord last week, he refused to answer most of my questions over email. But we did have 2 conversations by phone. By the second conversation, he gave up the fight and told me he's letting Letitia out of her lease with no penalty, which he also put in writing to Letitia in an email. But that changed when her landlord found out she didn't pay her rent for July because she already filed a tenant's assertion, which is a legal process that lets renters pay their rent to the court if the landlord doesn't make repairs. She says he's now once again refusing to release her from her lease. Now Letitia is fighting back, but this time in court, hoping a judge will terminate the lease and force her landlord to refund her some of the rent she's paid in the past.
I'm not going to pay July because I feel like you need to compensate me. So I paid my money to escrow on time. I paid it to the courts, and like I said, our court date is the 23rd.
So I spoke to the Legal Aid Society, and they told me Letitia did everything correct, especially with getting everything in writing. For more tips on what to do if you're in a similar situation like this, click on this story on 12onyourside.com. Kurt?
All right, well done.